about Zerg. But anyway, down in the bottom right position, we do have the red Zerg player from Team StarCraft to improve. It is Sabre. And his opponent up in the top left, the blue Protoss player, it is Ambion from Epoch.
Alright guys, so for those of you who aren't familiar with this here tournament, let's go ahead and explain exactly what is up with it. It is a UK community tournament, only open to current residents. So it doesn't matter about your nationality, you have to be a current resident of the UK or Ireland. And there are going to be 6 of these open tournaments where we get points given out. And points are good because, as we all learned in school, and as Medals continuously tells us, points equal prizes. And they definitely...
Exactly.
The top 8, I believe, will get BYOC tickets to Insomnia 49, so the ESET UK Masters Season 2 Finals. And I believe the top 3 get a Gamecom 780 headset, and then the next 3, I want to say, get a Gamecom 380 headset as well.
That is correct. You've
Awesome.
done very well. Well done, Joris.
Thank you so much. And I think 7th and 8th players get the tickets but no headset. Is that right?
No, they get headsets.
They get headsets as well. So,
Yeah. Basically,
Wow.
it's headsets and tickets for everyone.
that's pretty awesome.
Well, not everyone, just like up to 8th place, but that seems like everyone. It's good.
But it does mean that a lot of players are going to get these tickets, and it also means that we get to see 6 open community tournaments where maybe we see some of the lesser known stars try and build up those points values so that at the end of those 6 evenings they actually are in position to get one of those tickets. So that's why this is exciting. We might get to see some up and coming UK players as well, and not just that, Medals, we have some pretty big names in this tournament too.
I know, of course, last week's winner, Team Dignitas' dream got through. Johnny Rico's going to be competing this week as well. Probably 2 of the top people, obviously, in the UK at the moment, but then you've also got people...
Oh, that's me.
Pardon?
A-Bomb's here as well, isn't he? Irish bloke.
Is he? I have, to be honest, I haven't had a look through the entire bracket, so I'll take your word for that.
You're gonna like it. Well, A-Bomb happens to be here. Jimmy is here as well. Sol is back for another shout. Shibby, we followed his games quite a bit, is in. And Dez is also in from last week. And that's in addition to Dream and A-Bomb. So, and Johnny Rico, of course. So really looking forward to that. So far, guys, you might be wondering, what are you doing? Why aren't you casting the game? It's because we've actually had a relatively quiet game so far, where we have a fast expansion in conjunction with a Forge coming out from Ambion, which is why Sabre has recognized this, managed to see it with the Overlord, and as a result is going for a very, very quick 3rd hatchery. So very Wings of Liberty-esque opening to this game so far, and in general, just very, very quiet. The only thing I want to point out is that these Lings have been doing quite a good job from Sabre of being active around the map and chasing that probe back to base, so that Ambion doesn't have a sneaky probe out on the map at the moment, which sometimes you can sneak in with these Forge fast expansions.
Yeah, it's awkward if you do have that probe down there, because even just say like a pylon around the side here somewhere, it's not going to be imminently a big threat, but in the future it can be. There's also always the concern that what if your 3rd gets cannoned, because it's done. It's horrible, and if you've ever played Zerg, you'll know how disastrous it is if your 3rd base goes down early on, and that's really the big thing. And it still is. If you're a Forge Fast Expand up against this quick 3rd build, guess what? What it comes down to is, if this 3rd stays up, generally, a Zerg player is going to be doing okay.
Yeah, that's completely right. What you don't want to be doing as a Zerg player, guys, is being on equal bases with your Protoss opponent. That's generally not a place to be. You want to be 1 base ahead, and if possible, stretching your opponent in multiple directions and constantly expanding, even at opposite corners of the map if need be, which we see a lot of the time in the mid to late game. And the reason for that is because Protoss armies in general tend to be very tech heavy, very gas intensive, and just have an awful lot of firepower in them. And they're generally best served in a death ball, as I'm sure Medals is very familiar with. And in that death ball kind of situation, it becomes very, very powerful. But as soon as you start fragmenting that army, little bits of it can get picked off.
Yeah, it's definitely the way you want to run with it. And for the moment, Ambion, he's actually going to be trying to put on a little bit of pain. He's getting 3 additional gateways onto the one he's already got as part of his wall off, plus this robotics facility. He's going to be able to put on a lot of pain here, especially those 4 gates. You can get some early warp-ins. The probe is sitting down just where it should be, outside the 3rd base, ready to drop down that proxy pylon. That means quick warp-ins. What comes out of the robo? This could still be an Immortal Sentry all-in. +1's coming down, robo's there, 4 gates. All the hallmarks of that occurring. And of course, for Sabre. So yeah, go on. You breathed in deeply like you had something intriguing to say.
I wanted to say something really interesting, I thought, which is the Zerglings chased the probe back initially so there was no probe out on the map, right? And then the
Yep.
Zerglings stayed at the entrance to the natural, more or less. So I actually think it's a really, really good job of Ambion to even get that probe there in the first place, because if you look about a minute and a half ago, there wasn't a probe out on the map, and there were lings outside as natural. So I didn't pay enough attention there, but the fact that that probe is there is pretty good.
Yeah, it sneaked through. No Overlords have seen it. Two Lings are on their way back, though, and if they actually find this probe, which they very well could, it would be very frustrating. The Zerglings, though, stopping just a bit short. It's just a bit further down. The Overlord is coming in, though, knows there's these 3 additional gates. Ooh, soon to be 7 gate. 7 gate Robo.
Okay,
Well,
here we go.
The Robo's not even for an Immortal, it's just for Observers at the moment.
Yeah, there's going to be a massive gateway push, and you're right. Imagine if those lings saw the probe and the forward pylon got taken out. All of a sudden, you have 7 gates as defense, and you're thinking, wait, I'm destroying my economy to warp in all of these units so I can do something that isn't attack? That's a really frustrating position to be in as a Protoss. And now, all of a sudden, Sabre coming back with these lings. He's still not going to spot the pylon, moving them last second, which means that this forward pylon will be able to put some pain down on the 3rd base. Now, unless Sabre recognizes this very quickly, I fear that the 3rd base is going to be overrun here, but he is producing a lot of lings. He's starting to go into roach production now as well. I think he's smelling a rat here, and he's getting ready to defend.
Oh, unfortunately for Ambion, he does leave 1 gateway not morphed in to a warp gate. That's actually going to really hurt him because he's going for a big shove. He's got the warp prism as well, ready out on the map, but it's not moving across for the time being, and that's another thing that he does need to be getting in there ASAP. But all the while, Sabre is trying to get himself in a position where he can go for the flank. Mass recall coming down there, and clearly just seeing Sabre and his movements and just thinking, you know what, I don't want to deal with that. The surround will kill me.
That's an interesting move. I thought at the very least he might head into a corner and attempt to defend first, or at least try and lure the army into where his army is before using the mass recall to buy himself as much time as possible. But I guess that's the correct move given the sheer number of units out on the map right now. I mean, Sabre is just maxing out on lings and roaches right now. There's no subtlety to what Sabre decided to do as soon as he spotted his incoming aggression. And here we go. He's going to pick apart the forge with the roaches. Easy peasy. That is not going to get research at all. Blink and an Immortal coming out from Ambion, but he's at 100 supply to 173. And this wall is crumbling. The gateway has gone down, and oh no, without those force fields. A couple of late ones coming down, but the lings are already getting great surface area. It isn't looking bad for our Protoss.
It is. The Immortal is getting focused down as well here. It is just managing to stay up, but the Roaches pushing in so heavily. Photon Overcharge trying to deal as much damage as he can, but with the Immortal now falling, the Roaches, they are just going to plow through everything else. Sabre behind this is getting out more units. He's rallied across the map. The Cybernetics core, though, that's going to go down. The Robo depowered. No more Stalkers, no more Sentries, no more Immortals. Zealots alone are not going to defend against Roaches.
Oh, and picking off 3 out of 4 of those sentries at the front of the army is huge for Sabre as well. Massive amounts of gas lost there, and look at this, another army of roaches about to come up for round number 2. And he's saying, well, do you have Photon Overcharge anymore? It looks like you do, but will you be able to recast it? I might even focus down this Nexus. It looks like he's going to pick apart the Robo, and Ambion right now is a spectator in his own game.
Yeah, this is not too fun for him. With only Zealots warping in, there is effectively no way he can hold off this many roaches. He is going for a little bit of a counter-aggression, though, with these Zealots into the 3rd, but if this does come down to a base race, even with these pylons coming down, the Zealots just aren't going to be able to kill things quickly enough, especially with 12 more roaches getting rallied out. The 3rd may go down, but Ambion knows it. GG. And game number 1 goes to Sabre.